mysteries of creation are there.
In the sky.
Up in the sky.
The moon and the planets are there. And new hopes for knowledge and peace.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Your Inner Journey Weather Forecast, in which we utilize archetypal astrology to understand the energies in the collective and how they might show up in our spiritual practices this week, whether it be meditation practice, psychedelic healing, any type of practice this week. And actually, life is a spiritual practice, and astrology exemplifies that by the fact that when we look at our birth chart, we can see the challenges that we have coming into this life, and we can see the strengths that want to grow from these challenges. And then that's the universe itself communicating to us about our life, showing that our life has meaning, our life has a challenge, and our life has a strength that wants to grow from that challenge. So our life has meaning, and that's being communicated by the universe itself. So this shows us that there's a kind of a deep, profound significance to our lives, whether we have a spiritual practice or not. A spiritual practice, in my mind, is actually really just seizing an opportunity for healing ourselves, for coming into the wholeness that we are, and coming out of any kind of sense of lack or conditioning that we have inside ourselves about how we lack or about our self-worth that's not true, and coming into a sense of ultimately a connection to the universe, a sense that that we are the universe, and that we have a right to be here, to be who we are. We are kind of we are both the whole and a unique manifestation within the whole. And then within us, there is a wholeness. And so that's my definition of spiritual practice. And the spiritual practice is the story of, could be seen as the story of all of our lives. All of our lives are a spiritual practice. All of our lives are a spiritual path unfolding, whether we consider it or not, because there's meaning there. There's meaning to our lives. And there's meaning that's written into the birth chart. And there's meaning that's reflected in the universe around us. And so all of our lives are a spiritual path. But within that spiritual path, week to week, there's different themes that come up. There's different years to years. There's different themes that come up. And archetypal astrology is, again, the universe communicating to us, what are the themes of a certain week? What are the themes of a certain month, of a certain year, of a certain decade? And so this week is one of the most dynamic weeks. This week, along with last week, is one of the most dynamic weeks of the year, because we have what's called a T-square with Mars, Saturn, and Uranus. And we had it last week too. And I want to hear how your last week was. Write it in the comments. I want to hear how last week was, because that's when Mars really started to come into the Saturn-Uranus, into a T-square with Saturn and Uranus. And it's really getting tight this week. And we're going to take a look at what that means. Very significant, again, of the whole year. It's a significant time. So this is what it looks like in Archetypal Explorer. So here's the Saturn-Uranus square, and then here's Mars opposite Saturn and Mars square Uranus. And so they're all in aspect to each other. Saturn and Uranus are 90 degrees from each other. Mars is 180 degrees from Saturn, and Mars is 90 degrees from Uranus. That is what is called a T-square. And so this is an opportunity for any Saturn-Uranus combination is an opportunity for reprogram, because Saturn has to do with structures. It can be external structures in the world, like institutions and even buildings, and it can be internal structures, ego structures within us. Uranus is the liberator and the one that wants to emancipate and disrupt. And so externally, that shows up as institutions that get disrupted, liberated, disrupted, shaken up, structures that get disrupted, shaken up. Externally, we can see that Bill Gates, Melinda Gates Foundation institution getting shaken up, the British royalty family and institution getting shaken up, a building in Miami kind of collapsing. That's a challenging example of this combination coming into effect. in the sense that there was a structure, and then that Uranus energy is the disruptive energy that shook it up and it actually collapsed. And in terms of our inner structures, it can be a reprogramming, a restructuring inside us that can be quite positive, because we're all born, we all come into life and pick up conditioning along the way that may no longer be helpful for us, protective mechanisms, structures, defenses that may no longer be helpful for us. And as Mars comes into this combination, it heats the whole dynamic up and makes it really the reprogramming, the restructuring more kind of aggressive, and actually works in themes, Mars themes, which have to do with aggression, but also assertiveness. So if we ever had any conditioning in the past that had to do with like being a victim of aggression, or holding back our own assertiveness, or holding back our own anger, and that would be Mars, those would be Mars themes. And this restructuring that's going on, the potential for restructuring, can be a positive restructuring around those things, you know, expressing our anger, which releases up our assertiveness and releases up our agency, standing up for ourselves, whereas before we would have received aggression from an outside agent. So this is the potential here with this combination, a very important time last week and this week, and it even goes into next week a little bit. So keep this in mind. This is a dynamic time. It's a time to be on our toes, but it's a time to be on our toes internally. Keep a watch on your internal dynamic, your internal conditioning, and see where's the opportunity to recode. And the universe will help you, you know, just if we have that if we prioritize that, we make that our focus, that we want to restructure within so we can have more freedom to be ourselves and our true nature, the universe is going to support that. So keep your eyes open for that, for opportunities for that. Again, very important time. So thank you so much. I enjoy being here with you every week, talking about the transits and basically looking at the quiet language of the universe whispering to us, guiding us. This external world outside is a healing intelligence. There's a cosmic healing intelligence that's talking to us. And that's what this language is. And it can guide us in our path of healing and unfolding and coming into wholer connection to our core nature and our true wonderful beingness. And so the inner healing intelligence, cosmic healing intelligence, two sides of the same coin. So listen to within. What we're doing here is also listening to without, how the movements of the celestial bodies reflect the voice of healing within. So thank you so much for being here with me. I look forward to being with you next week. Let me know in the comments how the Mars, Saturn, Uranus has been showing up in your life. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Actually, one quick note before I go. I'm going to be teaching a course called the Fundamentals of Archetypal Astrology. I'll be teaching all about how to read a birth chart. So you can read your own birth chart. You can read other people's birth charts, how to understand transits, which is what we talk about here on Your Inner Journey Weather Report, and have your own archetypal astrology practice and be able to communicate with the cosmic healing intelligence, be able to hear the cosmic healing intelligence, being able to understand it, your own personal understanding of it. So this is something that is a addition to your spiritual practice. This is something that can just reinforce your spiritual practice. You might run up against blocks or things you don't understand. The cosmic healing intelligence is here to speak to you, to help you understand and to help you guide others in understanding. So that course is coming up. It's called the Fundamentals of Archetypal Astrology as a Spiritual Practice. And it's going to be starting in August. I'll have all the information in the description below. Right now, it's a super early bird discount until July 1st. So check it out. You get a super early bird discount. You get a discount. You get a code for inviting a friend for 50% off. So check it out. It's going to be a like-minded group of people that are spiritual adventurers. We're going to be navigating the cosmic healing intelligence together, the inner healing intelligence, being able to see how there's two sides of the same coin, being able to see just the fascinating process of navigating your own birth chart and seeing it as a map to your spiritual growth, a map to your inner terrain. And it's the universe itself that's so amazing that what we see out in the starry night is actually a map to your deepest depths within, the deepest mysterious depths of fascinating terrain within, and your emotional landscape and how that's reflected in the majesty of the heavens. And we'll get to, in the course, we get to witness live astrology readings and see how people's lives are this active, as revealed through the birth chart. They are an active play of the universe through us, through coming into being, wrestling with the traumas and the wounds of our lives and drawing the strengths out of them. And then how the birth chart can actually help that process by pointing out, by helping us understand what the wounds are and what are the strengths that want to come. We intuit our way there, and we do pretty well. And how much more we can accelerate this growth by seeing the map of our soul, you know, and then looking at transits and being able to see how the whole world is kind of working together in this play of consciousness that's reflected in this language of the universe, that we can really understand what's going on. It doesn't seem like random events anymore. It seems like it's a story with a trajectory to it, a trajectory of growth, of insight, a spiritual adventure. So join these spiritual adventures. Join me in the Fundamentals of Archetypal Astrology as a spiritual practice. It's, by the end of the course, you'll have an intermediate to advanced personal practice of archetypal astrology, though you don't have to have any experience with archetypal astrology to join. You could be an advanced practitioner of astrology, or you could be an absolute beginner. It's open to all of us. So come on down and check it out. Check it out in the description, and contact me if you have any questions. Thank you so much.